been, whew.
Hello?
Morning, girl.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Let's talk about,
How you
let's,
doing?
good, you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
Cool, cool. Ukraine, what's your stance on Ukraine?
Um, on the actions to take, or just overall, my
Just,
take of Ukraine, Russia.
overall.
Yeah, I think that Russia needs to get their ass back home. I think Putin needs to go sit down somewhere.
And then the next question would be what should America take then? What the actions should America take then?
Um, I don't know what's your opinion on what you think Trump will do now that Putin said fuck off.
I mean, Putin has every single right to say fuck off in this situation because he was running the Kursk offensive. And the Trump administration's essentially their stance seems to be we want to stop the fighting, but the ceasefire we're going to rearm Ukraine and we're going to give them back intelligence sharing stuff like this. So yeah, that's not a ceasefire that necessarily benefits Putin. And right now, as Trump said, he holds the cards. So it doesn't really make sense for Putin to say, yeah, I'm going to agree to the ceasefire so we can just rearm Ukraine.
Well, Putin would have never done it anyway.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
What do you think? Do you think that he'll just say, "Okay, I keep the land," and then it's over with? Do you think that? Do you think he should have control of the land?
I don't. In geopolitics, there's no real moral oughts besides one's own nation. So, from Putin's perspective, yes, he should be able to own the land. From Ukraine's perspective, of course, it's going to be no. And this is where negotiations have to happen. So, there's some sort of compromise. But right now, at least, just based on who holds the cards, Putin holds the cards in this situation. So, he's probably going to be able to keep the land.
So you don't think Ukraine should keep the land that they've acquired in Russia?
How are they going to, like, force their will upon Putin to take their land back at this point?
It's true. See, it's a whole complicated mess, and it would be a lot easier, you know. It's like we're folding, just allowing Putin to do whatever he wants.
What's your plan then for America?
I have no idea. I mean, I've never, I haven't played war games before.
Well,
I didn't go to the war games college,
I
so
mean,
you
you're
know,
saying we're
I don't know.
folding.
It's my opinion. You asked me for my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Putin started all this, and for him to gain something and not be held accountable, should he have to pay the whole rebuilding of Ukraine?
Why would Putin agree to something like that, especially if he wins this war?
Well, he's not winning. If we're saying okay, if there's a peace agreement.
I mean, the Battle of Kursk, he basically just won at this point. The Ukrainian soldiers, they've all either fled or they're being captured right now as we speak. And that was the Ukraine's like famed surprise offensive against Russia. That was supposed to be their big bargaining chip of, hey, we'll give you back Kursk if you give us back our land. And they just lost Kursk. So, like,
They
why?
haven't lost it yet.
Yeah, they literally did. You can check the news right now. I think it's 86, 87% of Kursk is back in Russian hands. Um, and a bunch of Ukrainians are
So
fleeing
so
right now.
where did you see it?
I mean, there's multiple different sources. I think I've even see maybe CNN. I'm not sure, but granted, the thing with mainstream media sources is they're very slow. So a lot of it is kind of social media. But even then, like there's videos of Putin in uniform going into Kursk himself, saying, "Yeah, we won." So
Okay, so they got um yeah, this is CNN. Ukraine loses grip on key Russian territory as
yeah,
Trump says pieces up to Russia.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering.
Okay, yeah, but this is according to Moscow.
Yeah, and I feel
They're saying this is just according to Putin.
well, I mean, you can look at any sort of like live war map, and they show that the majority of the Kursk region that Ukraine captures now back in Russian hands.
Okay, let's see what the BBC is saying. What does Putin video tell us about the Battle of Kursk? I don't want to see the video. And that's all they have. It's been verified too. Okay, they're saying so Russia is saying they're poised to drive Ukraine out of Kursk. So all this, so I would love to see an outside.
Well,
Let me
it
see,
seems
Al
like
Jazeera. Well, we know how Putin, how his media is. It's like Israel's media.
well, I don't know how Putin's media is, but I think at this point it looks like it's he's pretty confidently has control of Kursk.
I see.
So I mean,
Here's what Al
even
Jazeera's.
your mainstream media sources they apparently agree with Putin on this one. So
Here's what they're saying on Al Jazeera. Russia pushed Ukrainian forces out of most of the territory they controlled in the Russian region of Kursk during the past week, raising questions about whether a week-long U.S. intelligence cutoff materially helped the Russian counter. Of course they did. That's why they did it. They shut off intelligence. They shut off any more aid. They shut off cybersecurity for Russia. We weren't even listening or looking at what Russia was doing. So Trump just gave Putin that win.
yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that, but either way, the Kursk offensive, in my opinion, was doomed to fail because it just essentially the whole idea was a kind of a surprise attack, and that surprise attack of taking the entire region failed, and diverting manpower and resources away from the front lines and creating a new front line. You're spreading Ukrainian forces thin at that point, so like
Okay.
it was doomed to fail
So how do
anyways.
you hear what's your opinion?
My opinion at this point, what serves America best, because that's all I care about. Is what serves America best. It's probably stopping this war as soon as possible and getting things to cool down, and that probably would include concessions to Putin at this point. He's had control of about 20% of the country for about 4 years now, and yeah, at
So
this point,
you think we should just bow down and let Putin have it?
not bow down and let Putin have it. There's
That's
obviously some
bowing.
negotiations we can
What
have with him.
if Putin has not does not have to cover the cost? You know, like Hitler did in the not Hitler, but the Germans had to do in World War I, and then they had to pay for the damage they'd done.
Yeah, and that's exactly what caused Schmittler to rise up is because of how tough the not negotiations, the parameters of the Treaty of Versailles was on Germany. That's what gave direct rise to Schmittler. I don't want Schmittler's rising up. If we're gonna have really
Well,
tough,
no, that makes no sense. So you don't think that Russia should have to pay for the rebuilding of this of Ukraine?
I don't really care about Ukraine's interests specifically. I care about America's interests. That's up to Ukraine and Russia to decide of how Ukraine is going to be rebuilt. And I would imagine Russia would be open to it if there was a more friendly government installed in Ukraine.
That so I don't understand you people. I really don't.
What's there not to understand? I care about America's interests. Ukraine's interests are secondary. Russia's interests are
What
secondary.
about human beings that don't want to be part of the Russian
Yeah,
government?
and what
How
about
about that?
all the human beings who currently, because of this policy, are fighting and being unalived on a massive scale? I mean, if you
Yeah,
look at the
and
White House
they're
numbers too,
wanting. You've got volunteer. They're wanting to save their democracy,
not all
save
the
their
Ukrainians,
sovereignty.
Not all the Ukrainians. There's plenty of footage out there of Ukrainian armed forces kidnapping civilians off the street and forcing them in the warfare. Like this is just a given fact. So,
Yeah,
and that's because
about
they have
what media?
just any
Yeah,
media,
the
any
largest
media.
propaganda machine in the world,
Yeah,
Russia.
everything you don't like is just from Russian media. That makes no sense. There's no way to have a conversation of like, oh, we can't have a conversation because this
But
automatically has to be
how do
Russian
you, your
propaganda.
influence? You want America to get out of Ukraine and Russia altogether. You don't want us anywhere, so we shouldn't have negotiate a deal. We shouldn't give them aid. We shouldn't help them whatsoever. Just let Putin do what he's doing. That's your stance.
My stance is what benefits America the most. It's not just necessarily we're just gonna get out and nothing like that. No, there's a negotiation that can happen. That Trump's trying to force. I don't think Trump's necessarily playing his cards right either. Because I think he's kind of flip flopping a little bit with the whole we're not going to give intelligence and we are going to give intelligence stuff like that. Um, but yeah, we there's it seems like Russia definitely has more cards than Ukraine at this point. So it's just how the game's going to be played once the negotiations get down to it.
I just watched a video of Ukraine destroying battleships. Thank you, Nathan's mom. We you don't think I think you have been thoroughly propagandized.
No,
I think that yeah, absolutely. I think you have been propagandized um, by Russian propaganda. You have.
how, like how do you know this?
How?
Yeah,
How? How does anyone? Let me ask you some more questions. So did you vote for Trump?
yes,
Yeah. And that usually aligns. Have you noticed that the people that voted for Trump are the ones that
the people
support Russia?
the people who voted for Trump support Trump. Who would have thought?
No, I said support Russia. Support Russia. In this disagreement we got going on with Ukraine and Russia. The people that more in line that believe what Russia says and believes that we should just quit giving aid to Ukraine and that they believe Putin, it was NATO come knocking on his door and shit like that and he had to protect his borders. Fuck that shit. We all know that's bullshit.
You mean the Maiden
And
Revolution that
but
Victoria
Trump
Nuland organized?
supporters Trump supporters often align because it's all Russia propaganda.
Yeah, but that still doesn't address the thing. You're saying it's Russian propaganda. Some of those things are true. Those are just descriptively true things. Like the Maiden Revolution, like I just mentioned earlier, that was organized by Victoria Nuland and a couple other Obama era secretaries and staff members who basically caused a coup and overthrow the Ukrainian government that was friendly to Russia. Like that is something that happened. Nobody debates
Where's
this.
the
This
proof
happened.
that it was America that done it? And it wasn't
Literally,
just
you
Russia.
can look up the Victoria
Well,
Nuland
no,
phone
don't
call
literally show
about it.
me.
This is not
Show
even
me the
debated.
proof. Show me the proof of that.
I'm
That
literally
it was
telling you,
America
you
that
can
caused the
look up the
coup.
phone call Victoria Nuland made.
I think you need to fucking how many followers do you have?
How's that relevant? It's like
177. So you can't bring up evidence of what you say. You just repeat the fucking
I
shit.
just said
So
you can
how do
listen to
you
the phone
know
call.
Russia?
Listen to the Victoria Nuland phone call. Like this is not even debated by people who debate this regularly. Like this is just accepted as a common fact. This is common knowledge.
So you got another Russian simp in here, Patriarch seven seven seven
I'm not
seven.
a Russian simp. What are you talking about? It's just a descriptive reality that
Yeah,
right now the
the
idea
guy
of
gifting
sending
you.
billions of dollars of foreign aid and weapons and munitions and training and whatever other logistics just doesn't work.
Well, let me ask you this before we go too far. So the thing that you were just discussing about what Obama did, well, that was to the benefit of the United States of America, and you said that
No,
that's
it's
all
not.
you care about. So that's all. It was to the benefit of the United States of America.
Yeah, and the benefit now includes now what was it 4 year long war against Russia where we have
Oh, so you're
spent
saying that
billions, hundreds of
directly?
billions.
Okay. So you're saying that
Against
Yeah,
directly?
yeah,
Russia,
yeah.
he said. Now
Excuse me.
take his words, Fame. He said
What's that?
against Russia.
Exactly. So you're
Yeah, how's
saying
that
to
war
me
benefit
that
America?
Well, again, I'm going to ask you, how did that action from Obama create the situation directly?
Because we installed a pro NATO government essentially with Zelensky. Um, and yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Okay, so you're saying that them being in control of Ukraine was a positive for the United States of America.
That was not positive for the United States of America. I mean, the consequences are literally right there.
No, I'm saying them having nuclear boom booms was a positive, right? When they made the agreement,
Who's having nuclear boom
when they
booms?
made the agreement that they would take care of their
No.
boom booms,
What are you talking about with nuclear boom booms? What do you mean?
the Ukrainian country having boom booms.
Yeah, right after the fall of the Soviet
You
Union.
remember that, right? Okay. So when we made that deal, you think that it was a good thing not to be involved in making sure that things were taken care of in a certain way and that benefited us. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, why would we have a minor power in Ukraine having a bunch of nuclear bombs? Like that doesn't make any sense.
So you said it is a good thing that we made that deal.
Yeah, no, of course.
Okay.
I don't want a minor country having a bunch of
Right. So
nuclear
going
weapons.
forward in exactly. So going forward in time to where we are with Obama, why is it that now it's a bad thing that we were involved?
uh, because things change. Like this, I don't
Okay,
have like
what
a I
changed?
don't have like a deontologist view where it's going to be
What
we must have a rule.
changed? What
What
changed?
changed at that point? I mean, the expansion of NATO. I believe in
Okay.
1994 and in 2001, I believe, of a bunch of
Okay.
different
So
Eastern European
the
countries.
expansion of NATO should be throttled because Putin wanted it to be.
No, because it just doesn't benefit American interests. If it benefits Putin's interests
It
too, then whatever.
absolutely
I don't care.
benefited.
I don't
It
care if it benefits Putin's
absolutely. I know
interests.
you don't. I know you don't. But I'm saying it absolutely benefited the United States of America.
No, it did not. It just expanded the
Tell me
American
how.
empire and spread it thin.
There you go. You just said it. American
Yeah.
Empire.
Hey, well,
So tell
how is
us
America
why
not an
that's
empire?
beneficial.
How is America not an
I said
empire?
it is. I said it is.
Okay,
So it benefited the United States of America.
no, expansion of empire doesn't automatically mean it's a
Why
benefit.
wouldn't it? Tell me why it wouldn't be a benefit.
Because you spread the resources thin.
It's not spreading our resources thin. It
It
makes sure
is.
that we have
It
all
is.
of
We're
our
bloated. We're
resources.
too large.
It makes sure that all of our resources are actually doing well all over the country because we have a vested interest and the country has a vested interest in allowing us to be there so that when things pop off, we can squash them. Why? Because then the wheat keeps moving from Ukraine. Everything keeps going towards us.
Yeah, and
And the
we
thing that
haven't squashed them
the
though.
thing, I'm
This
sorry.
is all predisposed that we can squash
Well,
Russia, which we
it
haven't
actually
squashed
we
Russia.
actually squashed them enough that they only have 20%. You see, 20% is less than 80%. So if we actually pay attention to the mathematic equation, we're doing pretty well by not being having boots on the ground. So you tell me, sir,
So, do you
as
want
far
boots on
as
the ground?
your theory,
No, do you want boots on
as
the
far
ground?
as what
Fang, do
okay,
you want boots on the ground then?
now you're trying to do the thing where you say something over and over again,
No, Fang, I
and
just
so
want
that you're
answers to the
not
question.
actually having a conversation.
Fang, I just want answers to the question because right now with U.S. aid, yes, that slowed Russia down. I don't deny that, obviously, but at this point, it looks like it's not working anymore. I mean, Kursk is nearly fully reconquered by Russia, and they're making slow but steady gains on the front line.
No,
So,
they
like,
are.
what?
So the drones going in and taking out portions of Russia is gains, even though they've lost ground in their own
That's just a
country.
pivot from what I was
And
saying. That was just a
carriers
pivot from what I was saying.
and
I
one of the
can answer it.
largest
That's fine.
No,
carriers
that was just a
getting
pivot from what I was
destroyed.
saying, Fang.
Well, no, I was saying specifically in retort to what you were saying is that they are doing so well. Well, they're doing so well and they're losing ground in their
Thank you,
own
Corey.
country is my point.
They're not losing ground. They
So
literally regained most of
yes, they
Kursk
have.
in the last week.
Have they taken back over their own borders?
Almost fully. That's
Almost
literally
fully. How much
confirmed.
is
Yes,
almost fully? How much is
almost
No,
almost
fully.
I
fully?
was just saying
85, 86
Kursk.
percent. Yeah, in Kursk.
85, 80, 85, 86%.
Yeah, in the last week.
I'll look that up here in a second. But I'll answer your former question. Your former question is, do I want boots on the ground? No, I don't want anybody in the United States of America to pass on from having to be in battle with Russia. But see, you think that by not being involved, that would be something that can be thwarted. If you allow Ukraine to be taken, I don't care what you say, I don't care what you believe, we will be there, and our troops will be there, and the Canadian troops will be there. Everybody all over the world will be there, because it will be in the best interest of every single free country in the goddamn world that they stop Russia from being in charge. Because
Well, it's
no matter how terrible the United States of America can be, we have something called a constitution, and the human rights is something that we actually want to provide for the rest of the world. In contrast to the Russian government, who is run by a person who poisons his opposition. Even though I don't like Trump, he ain't tried to poison Joe Biden. So
you mean
I'm pretty
you
sure.
mean
Even though I don't like Trump, he hasn't tried to poison Joe Biden.
you mean
And
the
I
same
think
Zelensky who's
Trump is
declared
a.
martial
I
law,
think
who's
Trump.
banned 11 political parties, who's
Sure, he
banned the
didn't
Russian
try and.
Orthodox
Sure,
Church?
he didn't try and
Yeah, that's
poison
real
anybody.
democratic.
And
That's really
he didn't
democratic
try.
human rights.
He didn't try and poison anybody. So
Yeah, he's
again,
just
I
kidnapping people
I
off the streets and
agree to
shipping them off to the front lines.
good. I don't
Exactly.
care.
Good. Yes,
Good.
Ukraine can
That's right.
cross civil
Pull
rights,
him off the
but
street.
Russia
That's
can't.
right. Pull him off the
Russia can.
street.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. See, you're
That's
a
right.
complete
Pull him off the
hypocrite.
street.
You're a complete
I
hypocrite.
am. Yes, I am a hypocrite. So
Thank you for
what I
admitting
need for
that.
you to.
What are you
I
trying to
am.
argue for? Of
I
like,
am a
oh, we should
hypocrite.
support Ukraine because of human rights.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, what's your
Good.
point then?
That's good. That's good. So what I need for you to understand, sir,
You're
is
just not going
that
to address the
there.
fact that you're a complete
Oh,
hypocrite.
okay. I'm getting ready to speak again, and you're still talking.
No, because you're
Okay.
on
Okay.
this
So now you tell me.
massive
You
you're on
tell
this
me
massive
words.
long
Go
ass
ahead.
diatribe. So
Go
like,
ahead.
yeah, this is a conversation.
You have your diatribe. I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
No, I just want a question then of like, okay, Ukraine and Zelensky is obviously violating plenty of human rights. Zelensky banned 11 political parties. He's declared martial law. He's banned elections for the time being. He's basically forcing people off the streets in Ukraine to go fight and be unalive in the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are clear human rights
TikTok,
violations by Ukraine.
hey, intervene a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it per their constitution that they don't hold elections during wartime?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, America's hold elections during wartime plenty of times. I mean, during the civil
When there was
No,
boom
no,
booms going
during,
off
Gail,
in their
during the
country.
Civil
Gail,
War, during the Civil War.
Ukraine. I'm talking about Ukraine's constitution.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a wait. I thought human rights were
What?
this God-given thing. I'm
No.
trying to make their
Answer the
argument.
question.
I am answering the question.
Their
Because Fang's
constitution.
whole
You
argument
stated
was that Putin
elections.
was this dictator who's violating
That
human
wasn't
rights.
my
That's why.
whole. That wasn't my whole
Yeah,
argument.
that was the whole
my
point you were
whole
making.
argument.
That was the whole
My
point you
whole
were making,
argument.
Fang. Fang, you
My
gotta let me answer the
whole.
question, Fang.
My whole argument. My whole
Fang.
argument was actually. I'll reiterate what my argument
Fang,
was,
I'm trying to
and
answer
you
the
can go
question.
back.
It's not your turn to
I
speak.
know, but I'll go back to my. Actually, it is whenever I feel like.
I know,
And
Fang.
so
I know
my whole
you're a massive
argument.
Spurg.
My whole argument is that
I'm not done speaking. Excuse me, I'm speaking.
the limit of actually
See, I'm being
speaking
Kamala
to
Harris.
someone is
See,
actually
I'm being Kamala
you
Harris
don't
right
get
now.
to.
Excuse
Okay,
me, I'm
so
speaking.
only because I
Excuse me,
want
I'm
Miss
speaking.
April to have somebody to smack around. You go ahead.
You're not smacking anyone around, Fang. You're getting cooked right now.
Again, you didn't even hear what I said.
No,
I
because you're
said
literally
Miss
making a
April.
point that Putin is a
Again,
dictator and
you
that
didn't
everyone's
even hear
willing
what
to
I
fight
said.
and be unalive for human rights.
You're
But
crashing out
at
pretty
the same
big time,
time,
brother.
Zelensky is violating human rights
You
as
were
well,
so
Fang.
calm before I got up here. It's so weird how people crash
Fang,
out
what are
when I
you
speak to them
talking
in a
about, man?
normal voice.
Relax.
I know, it's amazing. So, Gail, let me get back to the elections. You
Yeah.
stated he's not holding elections. Is it not part of their constitution to not hold elections during wartime?
I can concede that. I'm perfectly fine with conceding to that.
Okay, why do you? It's just more Trump and Russia propaganda throwing out. Oh, they're not even holding elections and shit. See, it's this is all you come in and pass.
Is democracy a fundamental human right? Yes or no?
Why shouldn't it be?
Oh, okay. So yes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you should take issue with Ukraine not holding elections then, just by your own rules. If democracy is a fundamental human right,
because we go by the Constitution.
You're saying two different things then.
but no, you have to have rules and laws for that country, correct? And you do it for a reason.
So at this point, then democracy is only when the country feels like holding elections. So it's not a fundamental human right then.
Democracy is bound by your constitution of your country.
Well, is democracy not a fundamental human right according to your view?
It should be. All countries should have a democracy.
Okay, then you should take issue with
And you
Ukraine's
align with
constitution.
you
You
align
should
with
take
the country
issue
that
with
doesn't
Ukraine's
believe in that.
constitution not allowing elections then.
So why are you talking about Zelensky? Let's talk about Putin. Let's talk about
We're
his
talking about
elections.
Zelensky
Do you
right
want to
now.
do that?
We're talking about Zelensky
You want to talk
right
about
now.
Putin's elections?
Yeah, Putin doesn't have elections. I agree with that
Yeah.
fully. I agree. Putin's
So
a
you come in
dictator.
here
He's
to
a corrupt
simp for a
dictator.
country.
No, he's
You
a
try
corrupt
to throw
dictator.
it under the bus, Zelensky under the bus for not holding elections, but you don't hold the same thing against. You don't come in and say, well, Putin, he's not having an election. He unalives anybody that
Because
tries
we're
to
not
run
talking about
against him.
Putin right now. We're talking about Zelensky. And Zelensky's
Of
doing the
course,
exact same
that's the
thing
only thing
Putin
you're going to
does.
say. So the problem we see here is
No,
Russia.
you're trying to switch a topic that Putin's a bad dictator. Everybody already knows this.
Well, then, why are you up here simping for him?
I'm not simping for Putin. I'm just stating the facts how they
You
are
are
right now.
simping for Putin. Along with probably 80% of Trump supporters simping for Putin because of the rhetoric and the bullshit that Trump passes and the Republican Party. And when you all were all saying how Trump, how Biden, they would rather have Putin as a president than Biden. Sorry, I had a phone call. That's the bullshit we're talking about. You're too heavily involved in what Trump's saying and Putin and the propaganda.
No, well, how
That's the whole thing.
How
You
does
don't see it.
America?
You don't
How
see
does
it from a
America force
human
Russia
rights.
back at this point? I'm just wondering, how do we force Russia back at this point?
America first, America first. We're gonna be an isolated country. He's already pissing off the whole fucking world.
I'm just wondering,
And I
like,
wouldn't
how
blame
is
them if everybody
America
said
going to
fuck
force
you.
Russia back?
Never buys another goddamn product out of this country.
Keep
and all the
freaking out. Keep
businesses and
spurging.
countries
Keep
that we
spurging.
have.
And just answer the question now. Answer the question now. How is America going to force Russia back? Because right now, aid isn't working. Intelligence sharing isn't working.
We're not. We just keep giving Ukraine funds to fight with.
Yeah.
And weaponry to fight with. Let them do it on their own.
Yeah,
right now
they've lost 20% of the land. They've lost the Kursk offensive. They've just lost the Kursk offensive.
What is the ruble to the dollar?
The ruble to the dollar is pitiful. I know it's pitiful. That nobody.
It's 11. Yeah. Their fucking economy's
that's
crashing.
A red herring.
They had, hey, Gail.
People have been saying the Russian economy's been crashing for years. If they're still winning the war.
Gail. Did they have to bring in North Korean troops to help with the war?
That was North Korea's prerogative. That was a deal with Russia. I'm not sure.
They asked help from North Korea, and they gave them 15,000 soldiers.
Sure, maybe. Sure, I can even concede that. I can even concede that potentially. But still, right now they're winning the war.
Because they were fucking losing. They're fucking losing. Their economy's tanking, and I'd say within probably by the beginning of next year, if Ukraine had the funds and the military, not the funds, but the ammunition and the weaponry they need, that they absolutely could just shatter Russia. Not take over Russia, but shatter their fucking economy and everything. Putin would have no choice but to pull out.
Well, this is relying upon, potentially. I'll just temporarily concede to all this, but Ukraine doesn't have the manpower necessary to force that. Like, there's a reason why Zelensky is ordering his troops to kidnap random civilians off the streets to go fight in a war.
That's a fucking lie.
That's not a lie. There's plenty of footage out there in Ukraine.
There's plenty of footage that you've seen on goddamn Russian propaganda.
That's not a lie.
Plenty of fucking footage. Yeah,
Zelensky himself didn't deny it when JD Vance pressed him on it, dude.
They're showing someone get grabbed, bringing him to
not just one, plenty of people. There's plenty of videos.
Basic training or whatever they fucking have, and getting shaved off, getting into their military, their camouflage and all. Yeah, you seen the edited footage. That's all you saw. It's something that happened.
There's a bunch of footage out there. It's not just like one or two videos.
It's a bunch of footage out there.
I think I've seen at least 10 videos personally. I'm sure there's hundreds out there.
Propaganda, and it fucking worked on you.
Zelensky himself didn't deny it when JD Vance pressed him on it.
I don't want to ask him a question. I just want to say one thing. Is that cool?
Go ahead, Mo. Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's your live. So it's funny because, they didn't have this same passion for when Bibi Netanyahu suspended elections in Israel, but that's actually not part of Israel's constitution that he can do that.
I'm not pro-Israel guy.
No, I'm not done yet. You're not going to talk over me,
No,
right?
I am.
So,
I am. I'm
no,
not
I'm not
pro-Israel
done
guy.
yet. I'm not done yet. Israel also instituted a
Yeah, I'm
form
not
of
a pro-Israel
martial law
guy.
that expanded.
I'm not a pro-Israel
the
guy.
IDF's ability to manage
This is
civilian
unrelated. I'm
areas
not a
in
pro-Israel
Israel,
guy.
and I didn't
I'm
see
not a
any of
pro-Israel
these
guy.
Trump supporters saying shit until their daddy Trump
Yeah, I'm
gave
not
them
a
their
pro-Israel
talking
guy.
points about Russia. And now they're
Yeah,
all
I
about
disagree
it
with
for
Trump on
Russia.
this
And
one.
they didn't say shit about Israel because he didn't tell them to.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not a
Marco
pro-Israel
Rubio
guy,
just
though.
said $4 billion more. $4 billion more.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I'm not a
bombs.
pro-Israel
Why
guy.
the fuck? So if they're not fighting in Gaza now, what
This
are they
is
doing
completely
with
unrelated
it?
to the point we were talking
The
about.
tanks are rolling in. The tanks are
Moo, your
rolling
whole
in West
argument
Bank
was
right
useless
now.
because I'm not a pro-Israel guy. But we're not talking
No,
about
but
Israel right now.
You're so concerned with human rights, but not under the same circumstances in different
No,
situations.
I
So
don't like Israel. No,
That's
I
an
don't like Israel.
inconsistency in your
I
argument
don't
and
like
your
Israel.
logic, sir.
Look, Moo,
I don't
stop
give a
spurging
shit.
for a
It's an
second.
inconsistency
See, you don't
in
give
your
a shit. You just
argument
want
and
to
your
spurg.
logic.
You just want to spurg. I agree with you. I don't like Israel. I don't like Israel. I agree with you.
You're basically a hypocrite.
No, I'm not.
That's what it is.
Your whole point is deflated because I don't like Israel. I don't agree with Trump on Israel. I don't like his Gaza plan. I'm perfectly fine with saying that. But right now, we're not talking about Israel. We're talking about Ukraine and Russia right now. So stay on topic.
You were very upset that they were taking away human rights from people in Ukraine. But you don't have the same passion for Palestinians in Israel. It's the same situation.
This
right?
point is completely irrelevant.
So if you
I
have
said I
concern
agree with you.
Human rights and people's freedoms being taken away in one situation, you should have concern in all situations. That's the inconsistency in your logic.
There's no
sir.
inconsistency.
Sure
even though I said beforehand that my consistency when it comes to foreign rights is only based on one thing: what's best for America's interests. That's the first thing I said. And the second thing, and the reason why I brought up Ukraine violating human rights, Fang, I'm speaking, calm down. You can spurg out after I'm done.
It still falls apart.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
It still
someone's
falls
bad.
apart. The reason why it
Someone's
falls
bad.
apart is because
Someone's
it is
bad.
still not in the interest of the United States of America to go over and rebuild all of Gaza so that
I
Trump
agree.
and his
I
cronies
agree
can
with this
actually
point.
be in charge. And no matter what you say you do or do not agree with, you voted for what we have right now because he has always told you over and over again what his plans were for that region
because
to mow
overall
it down.
Trump's interests align
And
more
now
with my
he has
own
told
than
you
Kamala
his plan
Harris's.
is to completely
That's why I
rebuild
would
it
vote.
with our funds. So how is that in the benefit of the United States of America? You disagree, but yet you voted for the person who consistently tells you that this is the type of person that he is. He has always been tied to Bibi Netanyahu through his son-in-law, and you don't have any problem with that. You didn't have a problem with it when it was time to vote.
Sure. There's a. I mean,
one rose everyone from
that's
each.
completely
One rose
unrelated
from
to this
everybody.
conversation.
One
So you're trying to
rose,
shift to the
37
Israel
gifters.
versus Palestine debate. So to
One
quickly
rose.
cover it, and there's a couple different things there, so you're gonna have to give me a bit of time to respond to all this. First, when it comes to voting, yeah, that's because Trump's interests align more with my own than Kamala Harris. So I'm going to vote for Trump. I don't agree with everything Trump said, just as I much imagine if you voted for Kamala, you probably didn't agree with every single thing Kamala said.
Yes, I did.
So you're just one-on-one, just complete mind sharing with Kamala Harris.
If you can find one thing, it would probably make me go down from 100% to 90%. So I doubt that there's anything that you could say that she said that I wouldn't agree with. Correct.
Well, I mean, Kamala Harris herself said that Israel should exist as a state. Do you agree with that?
Two-state solution. Yep.
Two-state solution. Okay. I was just wondering.
Your argument about American interests also falls apart.
No, it doesn't. You gotta let me respond.
It's actually more in our interest to help Ukraine.
You gotta let me respond.
It's actually more in our interest.
No, it's not. You gotta let me respond,
Moo. It's actually more.
Moo, you gotta let me respond. I was speaking.
Okay, so I'll just keep.
Well, Gail, you're not responding. You're just talking over everyone. Wait till he finishes.
You guys
then respond.
I let Fang finish. I let Moo finish.
Then respond.
It's my time right now. It's my time, host. Calm down, host. Calm down, host.
It's always my turn.
Calm down, host.
It's always my fucking turn. It's always my fucking turn.
As much
It
as your
doesn't
weight?
matter who the fuck's speaking. It's always mine.
As
And
much as your
take your
weight?
100 and something, take your 100
As
and
much as
something
your weight? As much as...
followers and go get a
Oh,
live.
someone's
So
mad.
you sit back and
Someone's mad.
just quit.
Someone's
Please.
mad.
It's always my fucking
Someone's
live.
mad.
You're a
No, it's
guest,
not.
and if you can't respect and if you can't have a conversation, you need to fucking grow up.
I've been respectful. You
Well,
guys
let
were the
Moo
ones
finish
disrespecting
and
me
then
first.
respond.
I
Well,
was
let
trying to respond to
Moo-
Moo and Fang at the same time.
No.
Yes, I
Moo,
was.
Let him finish what he was saying and then
No,
respond.
I was in the
And
middle
then
of
shut
speaking,
your mouth
and then
and
Moo...
wait for
No,
the next thing.
I'm not going to shut my mouth.
Well, then just hop your ass down. Then
You're
you
gonna
can't
have to let me
spew your
respond.
bullshit.
Oh,
You can't.
Oh,
Well, if
someone's
you're
mad.
gonna talk over, I'll just hop you down because it just shows your immaturity.
someone's mad.
No, it shows your immaturity. This is bullshit.
I'm not being immature.
You
I can
can't
be
have
immature.
you can't have an adult conversation.
I
You're
can be
sitting
immature.
here over talking me, over talking
be
every
very
goddamn
immature.
body the whole time.
No, I let Fang and Moo go on for about like 5 minutes straight. I should have time to respond.
You actually didn't. I was muting you the whole time so that
We had to
Moo
mute
could
you.
speak. Then when I was speaking, you were doing the same thing. But
Like
Yeah,
then I was
because you kept interrupting me.
Then you were muting. I muted you the whole time so that I could get through what I was saying.
And when Moo
then
was
I went
speaking
back.
before, I had to mute. When Moo was speaking
Yeah,
before,
because
I
I
had
was
to
in the
mute.
middle of a...
So you
I was in the
actually
middle of
did
a
not
point.
at any point in time. You kept telling us,
I was in the
I'm not
middle of a
going to
point.
let you
I was
speak.
in the middle of a point.
You won't let me respond.
I was in the middle
And
of a
you're
point.
doing the same thing right now.
Yeah.
I'm calmly talking to you, and
You
you
don't
are
sound
trying
calm.
to find a space. If this is not calm, sir,
See,
then
exactly,
you
right
don't know
there.
anything about
Right
me.
there.
Because I am absolutely always on point and
You're not
always
on point.
revved up a little bit. So that's fine if you think that this is my actual revved up, actual, heightened state. It is not. I'm just speaking to you how I speak
It
to
sounds like
people,
you're holding
because
back right now.
if I don't think I actually care about something, I try and keep my mouth shut in life, because if it really doesn't affect me and my forward momentum,
I don't know,
don't
Fang.
care. I actually don't care. So I know that you don't know, Gail. So what you need to do, sir, is if you would like to actually continue to bring in people to give you coins and influence them to believe that you're the master debater, then just take the time in between me speaking, and then you get to speak. And then when Miss April tells you that it's her live, we all shut our mouths. And if you don't actually agree with that, that's up to you to decide. But there's a thing up there that has a long neck. And eventually people will get tired of me just muting you so that you give respect to the host. And you will get kicked. Or you leave. That's up to you.
Cool. Can I get
Now,
like my
Moo,
response
if you
now?
remember, Moo,
No,
if you
Moo
remember,
interrupted me. Remember, you guys want back and forth conversation.
Goddamn.
You want back and forth conversation. You want back and forth.
You got 30 seconds. Say something in 30
someone's
seconds right
mad.
now. Respond, Gail, because you're such a whiny little kid.
Oh,
Respond.
someone's
You got
mad.
30 seconds. Say
Someone's
something, Gail.
I don't have 30. It takes, if they get 5 minutes to make 10 different points at me, I should get 5 minutes right
Because
back.
it's part of my fucking family.
Oh,
they will
someone's
always
mad.
get more time.
So
They will always get more
okay,
time.
so this is not a fair platform.
If you don't
then.
like the platform, get
This
the
is
fuck
not a fair
off.
platform. Then thank you.
No. If you don't
Thank
like
you
this
for telling
platform
me.
and you don't think you get treated fairly, get the fuck off.
This is not a fair platform.
Bottom line, you don't have to be here. I don't have to allow a fucking soul up here.
Oh,
I can sit here and talk to the goddamn chat all day. So just fucking grow up.
I've been trying to have a respectful conversation right now. It seems like you want to scream and yell along with Fang and Moo to an extent. Moo, he hasn't really been yelling, I should say that much. Moo is just trying to cut in.
Thank you, Stormy. Golly!
Bye.
Jesus Christ!
All I was gonna say is Ukraine is actually more valuable to us than a partnership with Israel. You know, their
Yeah, that's not
agricultural
related.
strength is
Israel
stronger
and
than
Palestine
Israel's.
is not related
They
to this
have
debate. This
lots
is
of
just a
natural
massive red
resources that
herring.
they would trade with us.
This
Their
is just a
geographical
massive red herring.
location. They encompass one of the only trading ports that lead out to the sea in that region of the world. And they have a very strong industrial base.
I don't really care.
They are
listeners
actually
in the field at
would
this
be
point.
a better partner to us than